Here we come. Here comes Pittsburgh.
Alright, we're crossing over the river.
Welcome to Pittsburgh. Pretty awesome, isn't it?
Shots right here.
It's my hand. Dad, your shadow went over her face.
I know. It's pretty cool. Get that to see right.
So we're gonna start dusty. That would probably be better.
That's gorgeous.
That is gorgeous.
And tomorrow we'll come back and do a really great there. And then you can really get a good shot.
But like actually clean the grave, like
Clean
the stone.
It's a beautiful church.
This is Yvette getting out of the car. Take one. Scene
My
one.
legs. Hey Dad, you wanna see this? I got a party trick I can do.
Okay, show me a party trick.
Pop my hips.
Oh yeah. That's your hip hop.
Thank you.
That's your hip hop.
17.
What year's his? 18?
2014.
2014?
Riley, got some visitors.
Riles.
Riley.
Hey!
Do we need to let him out to get?
No, you love us. Where's the fire pit?
We can just walk.
Oh, we don't have
Oh, look at the big leaves.
Yeah, lake is right here.
This is beautiful. I love it.
It's great.
Let's give us.
But wait till you see the other day. It's in all the
I told you your cousin was coming.
You guys are here at the perfect time.
It's Anissa.
Yes.
You get all the credit for it. The size of these plates. That's some serious plate food right there. Alright, I'm going to share this video to Bad Kitty and see his response. We got pumpkin left in here. Yeah. One. That was it. That is just so cool. Looks like it's been squashed. It is cool. Turkey squash.
These are called Jaredale.
Oh, look at this one. It's like a little mushroom.
Oh, it does.
It's like TV.
So I'm supposed to get in the middle, right?
bus. Yeah, we got some folks who want to hop off at stop 2. Who are going to hop off or stop at stop 2. All around the globe. So Mount Fuji, Mount Kilimanjaro, South Africa, South America, Germany, anywhere you can think of, Iraq, Iran. So I think
For a million years, I don't think that lightning could have caused that. That doesn't make sense. That lightning striking that, I can see burning something down.
there's a toilet with no walls around it and a simple tap next to it to wash up. That's because a lot of people in Pittsburgh work very dirty jobs, steel mills, coal mines. They would come home at the end of a long day, filthy dirty, so they would want to enter their house through the basement, use that downstairs toilet and wash up, and by doing so keep the rest of their house a little bit cleaner. A lot of folks from other industrial cities have told me that the layouts of buildings in their Liberty Bridge, if you follow it to the right, it'll take you into downtown Pittsburgh. If you follow it to the left, it'll take you into the Liberty Tunnel or Liberty Tubes. The Liberty Tunnel goes for a mile back through the hillside. So if you're the claustrophobic type, maybe skip past that Liberty Tunnel. You might not want to be underground for a whole mile. The city of bridges. Yeah, Pittsburgh has about 446 bridges. That's even more than Venice, Italy, touching nose to nose. That's called a lenticular truss. Lenticular meaning like a lent. It's a very uncommon style of bridge architecture. Off to the left, we have the Monongahela Incline. That's one of our two funiculars or rail cars that go around the hills. Yes, Rector, you'll have a little better view. Now those downtown buildings, starting from the left, the one with the stair-step pyramid at the top, that's the Gulf building, as in Gulf Oil. The one that says UPMC at the top, that's the U.S. Steel building. The one with the pole in the middle, that's the Highmark building for Highmark Insurance. Further to the right, you have the BNY Mellon building for the banking company. And the one that looks like a giant glass castle, that's PPG Place. PPG stands for Pittsburgh Plate Glass. And I'll tell you a little bit more about several of those skyscrapers as we head into the downtown further along on the consoles and other upright games like that. They've got about 90 tables.
It's bus against tree, possible.
Or like tree against bus.
Tree against bus. Will this bus hit that tree, or will this tree hit this bus?
Tree against bus.
What's going on?
It's tree against bus. But turn this around. But the angle that we're at.
All right, all seated, Bill. And for those of you who just joined us, my name is John, and Bill is our driver. And the building on the right is going to be a 220-room hotel to go along with the casino when it is completed. Yellow, that means it's going to rain or snow tomorrow. And if anybody would like to hop off at Stop 7 for the Science Center and Heinz Field, just say, greet them.
Iron City beer. Oh, you're getting me in it.
Stones concert. Also on the right, you have the Mr. Rogers statue. Maybe there it is. 3 times life-size bronze likeness of Fred Rogers. Tying his shoes like he did at the beginning of every Mr. Rogers neighborhood. His Wagner did not want children buying cigarettes to get his baseball card, and he threatened to sue the tobacco company. They said, "Oh, dude, don't sue us. We'll just stop making Honus Wagner cards." Now, they had only produced about 200 Honus Wagner cards, as opposed to thousands or tens of thousands of cards for the other players. And as you know, scarcity makes things. For 3.12, a city of its own called Allegheny City, before it was annexed. It used to be the Stearns and Foster Mattress Factory and Warehouse. Another spot over here on the north side where folks love to take pictures is something called Randyland. In 1995, local artist Randy Gilson took a lot of repurposed objects like old diamonds, tennis courts, and an off-leash dog park. Just through the intersection and on the right, you have Yin's Coffee. Does everyone know what Yin's means? Yin's is a contraction in our Pittsburghese. It means you ones. So if you're from New York or New Jersey, you probably say yours. What are you doing over there? If you're from the South, you probably say y'all. Y'all come back. But in Pittsburgh, we say yins or yuns. You might hear people say something like, yins all going down the Steelers game and that. You listen for some of that colorful Pittsburghese around the city. Arch Street, if you went up Arch Street to the right, that would take you up toward. Blonde wig on it and just flew right back down. Now after we pass the aviary, I do like to share some of my favorite bird facts. For instance, did you know that before the invention of the crowbar, most crows used to have to drink at home? Approaching on the lever in post office, and it's got plenty of after-school museum and PNC park. We do have some folks getting to hop off at stop 9. So how's you?
The movie's She's Out of My League. Have you seen the movie?
I think so. I might be mistaken.
Now, last time 8 Elvises was sold, it went to an unknown bidder at an auction for $100 million. As the three sisters, right fielder, he was one of the few major league players to get 3,000 hits in his career. And he was one of the first Latin American players. And if you look to the right into the downtown, there's a silver he's almost completely made out of aluminum. And they also tap into Pittsburgh's fourth underground river, the Wisconsin Glacial Flow Aquifer. And those names can be traded, which is pretty cool. And it's named for David McCulloch. David McCulloch is a Pittsburgh considered the signature sandwich of Pittsburgh. Seldom seen out of the way place was called McDonald's. And we mentioned that because there's an item. Hey man, mind your own business. Don't be so nebby. Don't be such a neb nose. How about gum bands? Does anybody know what gum bands are? Most folks call them rubber bands, but in Pittsburgh we say gum bands. I think it's a much more efficient word. How about mine? Right across that manhole cover, and at that spot in October of 2019, a sinkhole opened up in the street and swallowed a Pittsburgh city bus. In fact, if you hopped on your Google restaurants of the cultural district, I'm going to give you a quick lowdown starting on the right. The Market in Pine House has a different burger of the day every day. Always open too. That's one place that's open 7 days a week. August Henry's on the left has hamburgers. And also on the left, Siena Mercado has meatballs. Bakersfield on the left, popular taco place and not too expensive, I don't think. Also on the left you have Bridges and Bourbon. Pretty sure there are no bridges in there. So a great place for bourbon. Once again showing the high water mark of the flood. Now, directly beneath the small plaque is a much larger plaque that says Joseph Horn Company Dry Goods. That's because this building on the right that says AHN. AHN is Allegheny Health Network, but this building used to be the Joseph Horn's department store, Pittsburgh's subway system. Here to the stadium or there into downtown, that is a free ride. And if anybody would like to hop off at stop 15 for Point State Park, we have down Stanwick Street to the right. And if you look at the do not enter sign off about the 1 o'clock from the front of the bus, there's a yellow and orange crane that's working on it. Stones were staying about 10 days ago at the Fairmont. Over on the left, this chocolatey colored high rise, that is EQT Plaza. EQT is short for Equitable Gas. And Equitable Gas is just one of the enterprises started by a shaped building. That's the Wood Street Galleries, free art gallery in the downtown. And the letter T in the circle lets you know that beneath that building is another stop on our subway. Okay, so up and to the right, they shot a scene from a Pittsburgh movie underneath that rotunda. The movie was called Abduction. It stars the Pittsburgh Medical Center, but that building is originally the U.S. Steel Building. You may not be able to tell from looking at it from this angle, but if you saw it from overhead, you would see that it is approaching on the right. That church is First Lutheran Church of Pittsburgh. It dates back to 1887, and it still has just through the intersection. And on the left, you've got the second tallest building in Pittsburgh. In 2011, Mellon Bank merged with Bank of New York.
Union Trust Bank. Untrust Bank.
1883 and 1888. Designed by North nickname Henry Hobson Richardson. And so in love with this style of architecture. Movies. More on that in a moment. But we are approaching stop. PG Paints Arena is up to the left, about a block back. Now in the downtown. Now we're rising up directly ahead of us. That is called the Cathedral of Learning. It's one of the tallest university buildings in the world at 44 stories. Nationality rooms inside the Cathedral of Learning representing 20. They say it looks like the interior of a castle, or like the. As we approach the colleges and universities in the country, considered by many to be up on the level of an Ivy League school. And we are approaching stop 19 on the tour for Phipps Conservatory. Henry Phipps, business partner of the steel baron Andrew Carnegie. You got a big chair and a couple of booths on the right. That's part of the one of the displays of the Carnegie System of Pittsburgh. You can see those three arches on the right. And above that, the words "Free to the People." Just like on that other Carnegie Library we passed earlier. Although this is the main one that accepts all the books in the first place and then distributes them to the other Carnegie libraries. They made Dippy. He's made out of fiberglass. He weighs 3,000 pounds. He's 22 feet high and 84 feet long. Look directly ahead of us at the traffic light, and then just to the right, across the street, there is a log cabin. Pittsburgh started out as in 1784 display, the Hillman Hall of Minerals and Gems, and an Egyptian tomb built to scale. Now, some of you may have been on the bus, so if you have a successful Tinder date tonight, maybe stopping in Hines Chapel, put in your reservation, they'll be ready for you right on time. Single piece pillars of any structure in the world. Each pillar is cut from a single piece of limestone. And if you think those limestone pillars are impressive, so did a filmmaker named Christopher Nolan, because he shot a big fight scene between Batman and Bane out in the front of this building to our right. That's where Batman and Bane duked it out at the end of The Dark Knight Rises. And the fellow that kicked off at the beginning of the game began admitting male students as well. But even to this day, Colorado is still about 84% female. Very popular school for nursing. For a long time, the best and in some cases cases, only way to reach some of the Birmingham Bridge. We actually had a guy from Birmingham, England last week on the bus, and he said it's not Birmingham, it's Birmingham. So let's call it the Birmingham Bridge. Is the dates on the top of the buildings. Directly ahead of us, you can see that one that I mentioned the first time, 1892 in that little arch at the left top of that building. Now that's a great part of it, isn't late in the day, you know, because if somebody calls you up and says, hey, could you come over and help me sort through my tarot cards, or I don't know, whatever, you'd be like, oh, I'm still at work, might be stuck for a couple more hours. Petrol at the double wide. You can still eat there, and you're more apt to see a much newer building materials. You got a lot more stainless steel, aluminum, stucco, and glass than most of the rest of the south side. Now, why is that? Well, where these buildings on the left now stand used to be the site of a Pittsburgh steel mill, a J&L steel mill. The steel mill produced steel until about the 1980s, but in the early 1990s, after the mills were shut down, a local councilman tried to maintain the steel mills for their historic sake, and so they could be repurposed as shops and restaurants and stuff. But the Environmental Protection Agency, they said, no way, these old buildings, old steel mills are too toxic, too hazardous, too dangerous, so you got to tear these down and clean this area up. And that's what they did. They tore it up.
Aaron made that give us a tour of Beaver, King Beaver at that. We need to stop off at Cafe Kolachi, don't we?
Oh?
I like your look, man.
That's pretty bad. He took pictures of me on a wide angle.
This is where Yvette and Aaron were planning to move to.
I just hadn't found the right one.
This is a rental.
I'll be your gatekeeper.
Oh, look at this church.
Yeah. So
I'll
this
be
is the
their,
street.
So I'm gonna turn around.
Y'all pick. Yeah.
I should have
It's just amazing because that stone. I mean,
I mean, do you imagine how many people it took to build that?
to just get the stone
You
here.
just-
Oh,
this,
yeah.
this is such an amazing street. They traveled all the way to Pittsburgh, from coastal Carolina by way of Charleston. Oh! That's Sprite. You can tell he's got a lot of Sprite.
Just had a busy morning, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's a supervisor, right?
Probably under a storm.
Down like all the tractors up there.